this legislation that was going on. So I appreciate your work and hopefully look forward to your election. We have a little bit of time to open up for questions. Is there anybody who had a question? All right. Jim Potts. Oh.
Thank you, Nabila. I got a question for Sergio, and I have questions for Max. So, Max, I'm wondering if you're a registered CPA and how much work you've done on campaign finance with the ethic and the ethics commission and all those laws associated with that. And for Sergio, I want to know how long Sergio has been a Democrat. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why my camera turned, but I'm still here. I am not a registered CPA. I, like every student at Wharton, I took the basic accounting classes and into further levels, but I have worked on the finance teams of Andrew Yang. I worked on filing FEC reports for Madison Horn. When I ran my own campaign for state representative, I did all of my own filings. As a non-CPA, I don't necessarily think that that is the prime role of the position of treasurer. I believe it is a steward for the policy of fundraising and dispersing those resources. There's a full-time staff at the Oklahoma Democratic Party that I will be working in conjunction with, as well as supposedly one of the best consultants for filings and FEC, or with the FEC. If you have any further questions, please follow up.
Quickly, who is this consultant?
Sure thing, 1 second. The consultant is, his name is, I will have to get back to you on that. His name is Chris. I did not have the last name in front of me, but he's been working with us for a while, as well as 16 other state parties filings.
All right, Sergio, you're up.
Yes, just making sure. Alrighty. Yes, Jim, to answer your question, I've been registered a Democrat. I first registered as a Democrat back in 2016 for the 2016 presidential election. I've been a Democrat and have been working with the party since then.
Whoa, my friend. When we vetted you for Oklahoma County, you were a registered independent. So after 16, you bailed on the Democratic Party and changed your registration to independent and remained an independent up until a month or two ago.
Yes, yeah, I hear your question, Potts. Yes, so for a time I did switch parties just because of my kind of personal beliefs at the point where the party was at the point. Currently, I am a Democrat. The reasoning for that is just because at the time I was in the process of switching over back to the Democratic Party, but as we know, there have been numerous administrative issues with the electoral board in getting things updated, and so that is the reasoning for that taking some time to update.
And I will add that I feel like this is a really good conversation for us to all reflect on whenever we think about all of the Democrats who have left the party over the last few years, because, you know, we want them back, right? Like, we want everyone to come back. I also, Sergio, I also left the party for a year and I switched to independent, and, you know, I'd be happy to talk about those things and more, you know, individual conversations, just because they are somewhat personal and a little sensitive to me. But this is a perfect example right here. You know, I'm very happy to have you back, Sergio, and I'm happy to be back in the Democratic Party. And we hope that we can win back all of those voters and all of our neighbors who have left the party in the last few years, because there's been a considerable amount of them. And I'm sure not all of them have left because they don't share our values or share our ethics. It's something else. And it's worth getting to the bottom of and figuring out what caused that and how can we win you back. So, Sergio, I'm happy to have you back, and thank you for your honesty and transparency with that issue. And I hope we can all, you know, keep in mind that just because our neighbors, our friends leave the Democratic Party, it doesn't mean that they've left our team. You know, they still share a lot of our morals, values, and hopes and goals for this state. And you know, we all want to get them back. We need them. You know, we desperately need them back.
And that's one of our goals, is to be able to get that 120 some thousand Democrats that have left the party. Either they're gone independent, or either they're just sitting out, and some have gone even Republican, and see if we can bring them back home. There, you know, I'm sure there's not one particular reason why someone left, but I think that we as a party, we have to look at what can we do to bring them back as we look toward 2024. Rather, you know, and Sergio, thank you for coming back. And then my question would be, you know, privately to you, what made you come back? But I'm glad you came back, you know. And so we got 120,000 other Democrats out there. How are we going to bring them back home to the Democratic Party?
So I would also like to add, part of the reason that got me into this work and interested is when I do voter registration, particularly what was really worried me is when I did voter registration at the MLK parade, we had more people registering there as independent than as Democrats. And I think this is a symptom of people feeling like the party doesn't represent them. They're not voting Republican. These people aren't voting Republican. They just don't feel like the party represents them. And I also see this when I do voter registration on college campuses. Young people are registering more as independent than they are as Democrat because they don't feel like the party represents them. And I think it's definitely a wake-up call for us as Democrats when at the MLK parade you have more people registering independent than Democrat. So I think part of that is bringing that back in. Like, I feel like a lot of independents, they aren't voting Republican in our state. It's their expression of frustration with the party. All right, it is 7:30. I just want to be respectful of everybody's time. If there is any more questions, we can just email. Feel free to drop your information in the chat and we will get back to you. If you have a certain candidate that you would like to reach out to you, we will certainly do that. But thank you everybody for joining us, for spending this hour of your time with us to hopefully make the Democratic Party a better place. Elections are opportunities for progress, for change, for our vision of the future moving forward. I really believe in doing this work and that everybody who has come together, we can really make some awesome change. So thank you so much.
Bye, y'all. Is that a parking, or are you at a Sonic drive-in, Jim?
No, you said you wanted to see my dog, and that was the only picture I could find quickly. She was helping me assemble. She was helping me assemble Kendra Horn signs in a shady spot out in the eastern part of the county, probably on 23rd Street in Choctaw or Harris somewhere.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I like what I like to do is go to where the area I'm delivering the signs and set up in a prominent location where people can see me sitting in my lawn chair with my cute little dog,
Oh
and
my
put the
gosh.
signs together with the people going down the street. And I set up the signs as I make them. So there's lots of Kinder signs or whichever candidate I'm happen to deliver signs for on that particular day.
That's a great idea. Sonic, listen, I used to hang out at Sonic's whenever I was young, so that's a great idea, Jim. Thanks for sharing your puppy with us.
Oh, I got better pictures, and hopefully she's not coming to convention, because if I leave her in the hotel room, she'll just bark all day without me. But
Maybe in the future we can have a dog meetup for conventions. We'll have to get
hey,
a dog sitter.
everybody in Oklahoma County knows Ginger, and they don't know my
Oh.
name.
Thanks, Jim. Tell Ginger we said hi. All right. That was fun, y'all. How good. Christine, it's so good to see you. I think the last time we were on a video call, it was like deep in the pandemic in the early days.